Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Tuesday, and honestly, I need a massive cup of coffee to process the absolute madness that just went down on our screens today. So let's just dive right into it because this episode was a total roller coaster from start to finish. And I mean that in the most chaotic, messy way possible. The war between Forrester Creations and the newly formed Logan Creations is officially out of control. It is no longer just about fashion or runway shows or who gets the best press coverage. It has become a bitter, violent, and deeply personal blood feud. And today, we saw the older generation completely lose their cool on national television, while the younger generation literally resorted to throwing punches in a bar. It's a total mess. But I can't look away. Let's start with Eric Forrester. What on earth was he thinking? The man was supposed to be doing a highly anticipated, very professional live stream interview about his grand return to haute couture. This was his moment to shine. This was supposed to be the big Forrester Creations comeback after Hope completely pulled the rug out from under them with her surprise Logan launch. But no, Eric couldn't just talk about the clothes. He couldn't just be the classy, dignified patriarch we all know and love. Instead, he completely lost his mind on camera. He had a massive, embarrassing public meltdown right there on the live stream. He just started trashing Logan Creations, aggressively accusing them of stealing Forrester's thunder and basically calling them thieves. It was so hard to watch. I was sitting there cringing so hard at my screen. Ridge actually had to step in and physically pull his father away from the cameras before he did any more permanent damage to the brand. But the damage was already done. The internet is forever, guys. You can't just unsay that stuff on a live feed. The whole fashion world saw Eric Forrester acting like a bitter, jealous ex instead of a legendary fashion icon. And of course, Bill Spencer is absolutely loving every single second of this. Bill is sitting in his executive suite, probably sipping an expensive drink and just gloating. Because to Bill, all press is good press. He doesn't care that Eric is furious. He doesn't care that the Forresters feel betrayed. Bill just sees that the Logan name is trending everywhere online. He thinks this free press is going to make Katie's brand even more famous, and honestly, he's probably not wrong. The contrast between the sheer panic at Forrester and the smug triumph at Spencer is just wild to watch. Meanwhile, the Logan women are not feeling sympathetic at all. Katie and Hope were watching this live stream, and their jaws were on the floor. But they aren't feeling sorry for Eric. Why should they? Eric fired Donna for keeping a secret. He banished Will. The Forresters have been acting so superior lately. So, when Eric loses it on camera, Katie and Hope are just watching the fallout. It really feels like the lines are drawn in the sand now, and there is no going back for any of these families. But let's transition to the real tragedy of this episode, which is Will Spencer. My heart actually breaks for this kid. Will is currently spiraling into a deep, dark depression. He is completely devastated because Elektra dumped him, and her family is relentlessly pressuring her to never give him another chance. And Will is just feeling the heavy weight of all these corporate secrets that he was forced to keep. It ruined his life. He lost his job at Forrester, he lost the girl he loves, and he is just a wreck. So Will ends up at the bikini bar because of course he does. Where else do you go in Los Angeles when your life is falling apart? He's sitting there, drinking, brooding, just completely miserable. And then Elektra Forrester walks in. Now, I don't know if this was a total coincidence or if Elektra purposely went there hoping to see him, but the tension was instantly off the charts. You can tell they still love each other. The lingering looks, the awkward silence, it's all still there. But before they can even really process seeing each other, Eric Forrester suddenly appears. Like, Why is Eric even at the bikini bar? Does he just follow his granddaughter around town now? Eric immediately steps in and plays the overbearing patriarch. He marches right up to Will and barks an order for him to stay away from Electra. And you guys, I just have to rant about the sheer arrogance of the Forresters for a second. They act like they own everyone. Eric just publicly melted down on a live stream, but he still thinks he has the moral high ground to dictate who his adult granddaughter can talk to. And Will finally snaps, and honestly, I don't blame him. Will has been pushed to the absolute brink by this family. He looks at Eric, completely fed up, and sarcastically says he'll do whatever Eric wants. And then he calls him an old man, just straight up disrespects him to his face. Was it a smart move? No. Was it mature? Definitely not. But Will is hurting, he's drunk, and he is tired of being treated like garbage by the Forresters. But then RJ Forrester decides to step up. Oh, RJ. I mean, seriously, what is RJ's problem? RJ suddenly feels the need to play the macho white knight and defend his grandfather's honor. He puffs out his chest and gets right in Will's face. And let's be real here for a second. Ray J has zero fighting skills. None. We all remember what happened last time. Will punched RJ in the gut and completely leveled him. RJ has never won a physical fight against Will in his life. So I have no idea what makes him think he can take Will down this time. It's just pure ego. And this is the part that really makes me mad. RJ is the one who escalates this to physical violence. Will was just running his mouth. Will was being disrespectful, sure, but he wasn't throwing hands. In the weekly preview clips, we clearly see RJ lunge forward and aggressively grab Will by the collar. RJ started the physical fight. RJ is the aggressor here. He provoked a guy who is already drunk, angry, and has a history of violence. It is the stupidest thing RJ could have possibly done. So, of course, a massive brawl breaks out right there in the middle of the bikini bar. It is total chaos. Glasses are probably breaking, people are shouting, and what does Eric do? Instead of stepping back and calling security, Eric tries to step into the middle of the crossfire to break up two angry, young guys. Why do the old men on this show always think they can physically break up a bar fight? It never ends well. Never. And then it happens, the moment that is going to change everything. In the middle of the shoving and the shouting, Will pulls his arm back to throw a massive punch. He is aiming squarely for RJ. He wants to take RJ's head off, but because it's chaos, and because Eric stepped into the middle of it, Will misses RJ. And he accidentally lands a devastating, full-force punch right into Eric Forrester's face. Just brutal. A total nightmare. You can practically hear the collective gasp of the entire audience. Eric takes the hit and stumbles back. He is going to have a massive, nasty black eye from this. And the silence in the bar after that punch lands must have been deafening. Will just hit the patriarch of the Forrester family. He just hit an elderly man in a public place. And RJ, true to form, immediately weaponizes the situation. RJ isn't going to admit that he started the fight by grabbing Will's collar? RJ isn't going to admit that he provoked the whole thing. No, RJ is going to play the victim and loudly blame Will for attacking his grandfather. RJ is going to make sure that Will looks like an unhinged, violent monster to everyone in that room. Okay, maybe I'm being too harsh on RJ. He was trying to defend his grandpa. But you get what I mean. He definitely started the physical part of this mess. And the timing couldn't possibly be worse. Because right at that exact moment, Electra sees it all. She sees her grandfather holding his face. She sees Will standing there with his fists clenched. It is the absolute worst possible visual. This is the final nail in the coffin for Will and Electra. Any tiny sliver of hope that they could ever get back together is completely gone now. Electra is going to be disgusted. This just confirms every terrible warning Ridge and Eric ever gave her about Will being dangerous. But it gets even worse for Will, because you can't just punch a billionaire in a bar and walk away. There are heavy rumors and spoilers suggesting that Will is going to be arrested for this. We are probably going to see Will Spencer put in handcuffs and dragged out of the bikini bar by the police. An assault charge. This is serious legal trouble. Will's life is literally going up in flames right before our eyes. And let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. What does this mean for Katie Logan and Logan Creations? They just had this incredibly successful fashion show. They just stole all the media attention from Forrester. They were riding high, and now the son of the company's founder is being arrested for violently assaulting the head of their rival fashion house. It is an apocalyptic PR nightmare. The media is going to have a field day with this. They are going to spin this as a violent corporate war. How is Katie going to handle this? She is going to be forced into extreme damage control. Will is not just her son, he is an employee at Logan Creations. The optics of this are so incredibly bad. I honestly have to ask, what were they thinking? Will Katie and Bill have to actually fire their own son to save the reputation of their brand new company? Can you imagine the irony of that? Will kept all of Katie's secrets. He ruined his own relationship with Electra to protect Logan Creations, and now Katie might have to publicly cut ties with him to save the brand. It is just so tragic. And you know Melissa Dillon is just waiting in the wings. She has been eyeing Will for a while now. With Will hitting rock bottom, getting arrested, and losing Electra forever, he is going to be so incredibly vulnerable. Dillon is totally going to swoop in and take advantage of this situation to make her move. I can see it happening from a mile away. So yeah, that is where we are at. The Forresters and the Spencers are literally destroying each other. Eric is sporting a black eye. Will is probably going to jail. RJ is playing the hero, and Katie's new company is facing a massive scandal. I am exhausted just talking about it, but I also can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. Let me know in the comments if you guys think Will deserves to go to jail for this, or if RJ is the one who should be blamed for starting the fight. I'll see you guys in the next video.